Let's start with MAHA. I introed the show. Bobby Kennedy Jr. yesterday, bombshell testimony. He plans on investing millions, billions, trillions, I don't know, to get every American using a wearable within the next 4 years. What do you make of that announcement and what seems to be yet another massive betrayal from the guy who was supposed to go in and save us all from medical tyranny, clean up Washington, D.C., end the revolving door, hold pharma accountable and liable? What do you make of the first, 4 months of his administration at HHS?
MAHA is ha-ha. I mean, now we've got MABA, Make American, was it biologics or something like that? Great again? I mean, what the hell is going on here? Mm-hmm. I mean, look, clearly there has been a betrayal. Now, one of the funniest and strangest things that I saw happening was Asim Malhotra, this doctor, this British cardiologist, suddenly get appointed chief medical advisor to MAHA, an American movement. And I was like, what the heck? And some people might say, well, he's amazing, he's fantastic. But what is his track record? He's a junior consultant. He's never had a really substantive hospital appointment. He's just gone straight into private practice. He has been an outspoken critic of statins, but, people have been calling out statins for 20 plus years.
Right.
And at one point he pushed the mRNA jabs and went on Nation TV, morning TV, and told everybody to take it. Mm-hmm. So, he didn't do his homework properly. And then he did a U-turn. Now, what's interesting is last month he went on national TV and did an interview, of which I've sent the video to Inaz, and if she can load it up and play it, I'm going to start, because what he says in that video is a bombshell, and it will answer your question. Now, you might be like, "Oh, what do you mean? The betrayal and whatnot." Just play the video, and you'll understand what I mean. So, Inaz, are you ready yet? Go for it. Let's play this video.
Is nonsense. We've got this whole history of what happened with Andrew Wakefield in the UK and the Lancet, etc. But I've met many, many mothers of children who believe, and listen.
Yes, but that's exploitative and awful, isn't it? I mean,
no, listen to me. Let me finish, Christian, on this. All right. As a doctor, one of the most important principles of being a good doctor is listening to your patient. And there's something called mother's intuition. Now, I'm not saying it's correct, but there is such a groundswell of people
that... You can't have intuition into whether a vaccine caused autism.
Let me finish. But this is where the inquiry starts. Why don't we try and look at it in a positive way rather than just shutting it down, saying this is, and of course we don't want people to be making false claims, but there's enough of a concern out there, Christian. At least Robert Kennedy, I think, is doing absolutely the right thing, saying, okay, most of these trials are conducted...
Well, you know what the argument is? The argument is because you cause such...
For a second. So that sounds not bad. So far, it's so good. There's a safety signal, mother's intuition, autism concern, Bobby's looking into it. All good. Right, Inaz, keep playing.
Vaccine skepticism, uptake falls, and people die. And in the meantime, in order to...
Stop. So, Inaz, you're doing a great job. You're amazing. I need someone like you. So basically...
Stop it right now. She's not.
So basically, he's saying vaccine skepticism, the host goes, vaccine skepticism kills people. People die because of that. At this point, Asim does not correct him, right? So the concern is if you're skeptical about vaccines, people will die. Not that vaccines are killing people or harming people, the opposite. Right, Inaz? Keep playing.
Sort of feed this sort of mad world online.
Yeah. Christian,
you cause deaths.
You're right, but the vaccine skepticism is there already. We want to improve it.
Yeah.
Right? The question is, what is the best way to improve it? Censorship is not working, and it's not the best way forward. I think Bobby Kennedy's approach is absolutely correct.
So, did you hear that?
I did. I did.
So basically, what he's saying is, vaccine skepticism is a bad thing. Now, Inaz, at some point, can you go back and play the first video? Because actually, I thought that was a full video, but it's not. There's more to it.
Okay.
And it's very important. So later on the video, Inaz, tell me when you're ready, just cut in. But basically, Asim says the biggest problem we have right now is vaccine skepticism.
That's right.
Now, Shannon, I don't know about you, but the last thing that's the problem is vaccine skepticism. After COVID, everybody should be vaccine skeptic. I mean, if there's one blessing of COVID, it's like maybe we need to evaluate all vaccines after this debacle. But Asim says on air, no, vaccine skepticism is a problem and we need to address it. Right, Inaz, go for it. Play.
Yeah.
You know, we are doing this to our children. He clearly believes that vaccines cause autism.
Listen, that was certainly what he said before he got into this role. Of course, now he's in this role. He has different state.
What?
So that was what he was saying before he got into this role. Play it back again, Inaz, and then play it again, because the one important line goes very quick. So he goes, before he took his role, that's what he was saying. But now he's in this role, and Inaz, play it again.
Stakeholders he's got to listen to, which I think is... Yeah.
You know, we are doing this to our children. He clearly believes that vaccines cause autism.
Listen, that was certainly what he said before he got into this role. Of course, now he's in this role. He has different stakeholders he's got to listen to, which I thought...
Oh my gosh. Stakeholders.
He's got different stakeholders he has to listen to. Now, hold on a second. This is MAHA's chief medical advisor. Stakeholders. Have you ever heard that kind of language before?
Yeah.
Have you heard that? Like WEF?
Yeah.
Are stakeholders. Stakeholders are people who profit in a venture. So people who are profiting are the stakeholders. People who are involved financially typically are stakeholders. Who are these stakeholders that Bobby is reporting to in this new role? And why is the stakeholder not the American public? You know,
right, absolutely.
He has said on air, that was his position before he took his role. Now he's taking his role. Listen, things have changed. He's got different stakeholders he has to report to. What the fuck? What did you think of that?
Well, let me tell you, I first learned about stakeholders. It was always, you know, back when I was looking into Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030, and they would come in. Stakeholders replace taxpayers. Stakeholders are actually stockholders. They are people who stand to profit, as Doc Malik so succinctly explained. And they come into a community when they want to rape your community, take the land, get rid of the zoning laws, or do, have their way with a community, a small government or a county. And they come in, they go to all the board meetings, the zoning meetings, they use all kinds of tricks and techniques to convince people to buy into whatever their larger economic plan or sustainable development plan or educational plan or you name it. So the stakeholders, and this is something very clear, I think you could name a lot of entities at this point. Primarily, let's focus on Callie and Casey Means, the siblings with deep ties to the deep state who have been in Washington, D.C. their entire life. Their dad, by the way, was the right-hand man to Nelson Rockefeller and has patents. He has multiple patents in drone technology, among other things. And these two have deep ties, and they also have ownership stake in companies that are heavy into the wearables technology community and that type of thing. So I think that's why the line of questioning from one of the senators was so important. Bobby Kennedy Jr. rages against the revolving door and a lack of transparency and pay to play, yet here he is engaging in that. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. It's done.
It's outrageous. So listen, I don't know about you, but the MAGA and MAHA mums and dads wanted justice for their children who were vaccine injured. And Bobby was meant to be the guy who saved them. Now, anyone who really paid attention, like Suzanne Humphries said on my podcast just this week, she was shocked because Bobby kept saying at all the CHD, child health defense meetings, he's not anti-vax. And she'd be like, what the hell? To the ladies running the CHD. Well, why does he keep saying that? They were, no, he is. He just has to say that, he's just so that he doesn't get attacked. He has to play it like that. She was like, really? Because I'm anti-vax. I don't have a problem with saying that. And they're like, no, he just has to say it like that. And we all thought, okay, he's just playing a game. And once he gets appointed and gets into power, then that's it, full steam ahead. We're all still waiting. The mRNAs are still out there. They're still being pushed forward. Vaccine mandates still exist. School mandates still exist. Places even like Texas,
New York, my kids.
Yeah. The mandates are still there.
Yep.
Just pull it. People say, well, it's not under his control. Well, do it, and then it can go through Congress. or at least repeal the PrEP Act, the 1986 Immunity Act. And you know, when you take away the immunity to liability, everything, the market forces take place.
Absolutely.
People start suing the bejesus out of these people. And then you know what? You don't even need to do anything.
Yeah.
The vaccine companies will be like, oh shit, we need to withdraw these products. It's going to be the mother of all, payouts.
Yeah.
So it's been very disappointing that he hasn't moved on the key things. And instead he's focused on, I mean, it's important. Don't get me wrong. I listen to him and I hear and I nod when he goes on about fructose corn syrup and he talks about, the diabetes and the obesity epidemic. I mean, there's no arguing that, that's all good. I don't disagree with that. But then he comes out with things like wearables. Like what the